Now let us start the third skill which we need. So the third skill of the SAT math, of 40 most wanted SAT skills is that whenever you're having the question in which there's a mean to calculation of the mean, so mean is nothing but the average, and the average is actually sum of all the terms divided by the number of terms. So whenever there's a question related to mean, so you have to calculate average. So average is sum of all the terms divided by how many there are, number of terms. But our approach to this question will be a little different. What we'll do is, whenever we'll be having the question average as the average calculation of the average, what we'll do is we'll use the formula average times the number of terms is equal to sum. So when you see the word average on the SAT, use sum is equal to average times number of terms, because most of the questions involve the sum. So you need to first write the formula and then convert that into sum equals average times number of terms. So it's better to calculate it before, to remember this before. So sum is average times number of terms. So this needs to be remembered, and now we'll be able to use this thing for doing our question. So sum is equal to average times number of terms. So let us see question number 1. If the average of m and 4m is 30, what is the value of m? So we'll use the formula sum equals average times the number of terms. So average is 30. So average is 30, and the number of terms is 2, right? So number of terms is 2. Average of m and 4m. So you're having 2 and the 30, and you have to calculate the value of m. So sum means addition. So m plus 4m. So that's equal to 5m. 5m equals 60, right? And that means dividing by 5 to both sides, you'll get m equals 60 divided by 5, that is 12. So m is 12. So option E will be the right answer. So here you have to remember sum equals average times number of terms. Now let's do the second one. The average of the scores of 21 students. So you should directly write the formula, right? You should not wait for first reading the question completely and then rereading it, because it will waste your time. So what you'll do is you'll write sum equals, you don't need to even write this thing also, you just need to write the numbers on that, whatever is given. So sum is average times number of terms. So it's telling you the average of the scores of 21 students, so number is 21. On an exam is k, so the average is k, so k times 21. What is the sum of the scores of to all 21 students? So sum is k times 21. That's it. So 21k is the right answer. It is considered as the medium difficulty level question, but see how much easier it has become by just plugging in the values in the formula sum equals average times number of terms. Now let us see the third question. If the average, so simply again sum equals average times number of terms. If the average of m and n is 7, so the average is 7, and the average of m, n, and p, so there are two conditions here now. So average of m and n is 7, so these are two terms, right? These are two terms, so you can write sum, that means sum m plus n equals 7 times number of terms. These are two terms, right? So 7 times 2, so we can write m plus n is 14. We don't need to go to the second part of the question unless we decode the first part. So we have decoded it, we have calculated it, m plus n is 14, and the average of m, n, and p, so these are three terms. Again we'll use the formula sum, that is sum of m, n, and p is equal to average is 11, so average times 11 times number of terms. So these are three terms, right? So we can write m plus n plus p equals 33, again using the formula. So m plus n plus p is 33. What is the value of p? So very easy question it is, because you're able to see that m plus n is already 14. So m plus n, you can plug in 14 here. So what you can do is you can plug in the value of m plus n as 14. So I can write, instead of m plus n, I'll write 14 plus p equals 33. Subtracting 14 to both sides, you will get p equals 33 minus 14, that is 23, 19, right? That is 19. So p equals 19. So option D will be the right answer. So very what I was trying to say, that the question need not to be read completely first. The part of the question which you will read, you will convert that into an equation or into a decoded form, and then you'll write another part, and then if they'll be having more than those parts, you'll write those all parts, and then you will try to solve each part and see what you have to calculate, so that you will make the arrangements accordingly. Now let us see the fourth question. If the parameters of two shapes have the sum of 9, so there are two shapes, right? We know that sum is 9, right? So we know that sum equals average times number of terms. So average times number of terms. You can write the shortcut ways of in the real SAT, you can write the shortest names possible, so that you will not have more time in spending in writing the whole bunch of the things. So sum is 9, so 9 equals average times number. So these are two shapes, so it's 2. So we can get average here. Average is 9 divided by 2, that's 4.5. We don't need to even convert it. We can write average is 9 divided by 2. And now the second thing is, what is the average of the parameters of two shapes? Well, we have calculated that, right? We don't need to even see the question. We calculated that. Average of the parameters of the two shapes is 9 divided by dividing by 2 to both sides. So 9 divided by 2, which we already did. So 9 divided by 2, option D is the right answer. Okay, so question number 5. The average of the test scores of the class of 20 students. So we can use the formula sum equals average times number of terms. So it's given here the average of 20 students, that means the number is 20, and the average is 80. That is the sum of these students. So this first part of the sum is 80 times 20, that is 1600. So sum of all the tests of these 20 students is 1600. And then it's telling you the average of the scores of the class of 30 students is 92. So again, sum equals average times number. So sum equals average of these students is 92, and the number of these students is 30. So it'll be sum equals 92 times 30, that is 2760. So the sum of these 30 and those 20 is 2760 and 1600. So we have to calculate what's the average of both classes combined. So average, we know that sum is average times the number. So sum of all these students combined is 1600 plus 2760. This is equal to average multiplied by number of students in total. So 30 plus 20, because total students will be now 50. So we can get 1600 plus 2760 is 4. We can do it here roughly. 2760, 1600, 0, 6, 13, 4360. So 4360 equals average times 50, dividing by 50 to both sides. You will get 4360 divided by 50, 436 divided by 5, 5 times 1, 5 times 8 is 40. 3 will be carry. 5 times 7 is 35. 1 will be there. We can put in 0. 5 times 2 is 10. So 87.2. 87.2 is the right answer for question number 5. So you're using the formula for the first part, and then the formula for the second part, and then the formula for the third, what you want. What is the average of both losses combined? Now let us see question number 6. The average of M, N, O, and P. So these are 4 terms. It is 55. So we can say the average is sum of all these. This is equal to average times a number. So average is 55 times the terms. They are 4. So 55 times 4. So you can write MNOP, M plus N plus O plus P equals 55 times 4. That is 110, 110, 220. So that's 220. Now it's telling if the average of M, N, O, P, and Q is 70. So now we're having 5 terms. So we can write here M plus N plus O plus P plus Q is the average is 70, so average multiplied by number, they are 5 terms. So MNOPQ is equal to 7 times 5 is 35, and then 0. 70 times 5 is 350. So we have to calculate the value of Q. Again, this question we did before also. We are having MNOP already given, that is 220. That is, we have calculated that. So we can plug it here. MNOP is 220. So we can write 220 plus Q equals 350. So Q can be equal to, subtracting 220 to both sides, you'll get 350 minus 220, that's 30 and 130. So Q is 130. So whatever the options will be, the answer will be 130. Now question number 7, the hard question here. Each of 5 judges had a scorecard on which they wrote a different positive integer. So again we'll use the formula. So we're having the 5 judges. Judge 1 wrote something, Judge 2 wrote something, Judge 3 wrote something, Judge 4 wrote something, and Judge 5 wrote something. So they wrote different positive integers. So positive integers start from 1 and then they will continue 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. If the average of these integers is 7, so average, that means sum divided by number, or we can use the formula simply, sum equals average times the number. So average is 7, right? And these are 5, right? These are 5 scores. So the sum will be 7 times 5, that is 35. So sum of all these scores will be 35. So we can write it here. So you're adding these 5 scores and you're getting 35 here. Now it's telling you what is if the average of these integers 7, what is the greatest possible integer that could be on one of the cards. So what can be the greatest possible integer? In order to calculate the greatest possible integer which can be possible on the cards, we'll just select the least possible, right, for the others. We'll select the least possible for the others, but there's a condition that they are having different positive integers. Everybody's having a different positive integer. Starting from the lowest, we're having 1 as the lowest positive integer, but we can't take 1 again because 1 is already there. So we have to take different positive integers. So we can take the least value after 1 will be 2, and then the least value after 2 will be 3, and then the least value after 3 will be 4. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus something is equal to 35. So this something will be the greatest possible value because we are taking the least possible values for other 4 scores. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So 10 plus that number is 35. Subtracting 10 to both sides, this number has to be 25. So maximum we can do is we can get 25 as the greatest possible number, which we can plug it in here. So the options will be anything, so we can plug in 25 as the right answer.